Welcome to the Explainer. We're surrounded by signals, sound, light, radio waves. But what if I told you there's a mathematical tool that can find the secret recipe for almost any signal you can think of? Today, we're cracking open the Fourier Transform.
All right, to get our heads around this, let's start with something simple. A smoothie. Imagine someone hands you this perfectly blended, delicious smoothie. How in the world would you figure out the exact recipe? I mean, not just what's in it, but exactly how much banana, how much strawberry, how much everything.
Well, that's pretty much what the Fourier Transform does, but for signals. Think of it as this incredible mathematical machine that takes a complex smoothie, like say a sound wave, and it spits out the exact recipe. It tells you all the pure, simple frequencies it's made of and how strong each one is. It's basically a reverse engineering machine for waves.
And why is that so important? Well, think about it. The recipe is way more useful than the final smoothie if you want to make it a little sweeter or less tart, right? It's the exact same thing with signals. Once you have the recipe, you can analyze it, you can change it, you have so much more control. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What kind of mess are we actually trying to unmix here? Well, the world around us is just a constant jumble of signals.
Right. Almost every signal you can think of is a total mess. It's a jumble of different waves, kind of like if you stirred a bunch of different paint colors together. The sound hitting your ears right now isn't one pure tone. It's thousands of them all mixed together. Trying to make sense of that raw signal is like looking at a bucket of brownish-gray muck and trying to guess which original colors went into it. It's tough.
So the obvious question is, why bother? Why would we even want to unmix this jumble?
Because once you can unmix it, the possibilities are just mind-blowing. By finding a signal's recipe, we can do incredible things. We can make buildings earthquake-proof by knowing which frequencies to avoid. We can filter that annoying buzz out of your favorite podcast. That app on your phone that recognizes a song in seconds? Yep, that's the Fourier Transform. And maybe the biggest one of all, it's how we shrink down files to make MP3s and JPEGs possible. It's literally everywhere in our digital lives. Okay, this is where it gets really, really cool. How does this thing actually work? How does the math actually pull this off? Let's build up a mental model for it, and honestly, the visual is just beautiful. Okay, so forget the scary equations for a second. I want you to imagine a clever machine. And what this machine does is it takes that messy up and down signal, and it starts wrapping it around a circle.
So here's how this winding machine works. Step 1, you grab your jumbled signal. Step 2, you start wrapping it around a circle at a very specific speed. Then, and this is the key, you track the center of mass of that shape you just made. And step 4, you watch that center of mass. When it suddenly swings way out from the middle, you've hit the jackpot. You've found a key ingredient.
Here's why that works. If you're winding at some random speed that doesn't match anything in the signal, the wave just gets spread out evenly all around the circle. The center of mass, it just sits there right in the middle. Nothing happens. But when the speed you're winding at perfectly matches a frequency that's hidden in the signal, bam, all the peaks of that frequency line up on one side. The whole shape gets bunched up, it becomes unbalanced, and the center of mass swings way, way out. That's the signal. It's a match. The machine has found one of the ingredients. So this amazing winding machine idea is the secret code behind, well, pretty much our entire digital world. Let's talk about that.
And here's another layer to it. The transform doesn't just find the ingredients, it finds the most and least important ones. See, how far that center of mass swings out tells you the strength of that frequency. A big swing means it's a major ingredient. A tiny little wiggle, not so important. And that is the whole magic behind compression.
So think about how your MP3s and JPEGs are made so small. First, the computer finds the recipe for the sound or the image using the transform. Then, it identifies the least important ingredients. These are usually the really high-frequency details. And you know what it does with them? It just throws them away. Gone. It then rebuilds the signal with the remaining ingredients. And the crazy part? Our eyes and ears barely even notice they're gone. But the file size is way, way smaller.
There's a great quote from the mathematician Charles Pfefferman that really hits this home. He said, "It's known that if you have a whole lot of tuning forks and you set them perfectly, they can produce Beethoven's Ninth Symphony." And that's it, right? Even something that complex and beautiful is just a recipe of simple, pure tones. The Fourier Transform is what finds that recipe.
So really, this transform is like putting on a new pair of glasses. It gives us a completely new way to see the world. But like any tool, it's not perfect. It has one really big limitation you need to know about.
And here's the catch. The Fourier transform tells you what frequencies are in a signal, but it gives you absolutely no information about when they happen. It's like it gives you a perfect list of all the ingredients in the smoothie, but it doesn't tell you the order they were put in the blender. For music, it tells you every single note in the song, but it throws away the entire rhythm. It knows the what, but it completely loses the when.
But even with that limitation, the Fourier transform is this incredible mathematical lens. It lets us look at a messy, chaotic world and see these simple, hidden ingredients that it's made of. It reveals the beautiful, underlying patterns hidden inside the noise.
So, when you boil it all down, this amazing tool helps us find the hidden recipes all around us. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other hidden recipes are still out there in all the signals we see and hear every day, just waiting for us to discover them?